and protection of the environment.
And that's Pt.6 Abiola, here represented today by Omolola Ajani. A big round of applause again, please. Now, finally, on this panel discussion we're going to have, the one I call one of the pivotal persons that was involved in the creation of this program, because I remember last year when we were thinking of this idea, we had Petra Schneider and Manuela Kasper-Claridge in Nigeria, and we met with our chairman, Mr. John Momo, and he said, lock yourself in a room. You guys come up with the idea. And that was exactly what Peter Limburg, the DG of Deutsche Welle, had said to them, that go to Nigeria, come up with an idea. So we created this idea. Well, join me in welcoming Manuela Kasper-Claridge, the head of business and science at Germany's international broadcasters, Deutsche Welle. Manuela is also in charge of environmental reporting. And of course, to be expected, Manuela Kasper-Claridge leads an international team of multimedia reporters. And just a few months ago, she was awarded Germany's prestigious Environmental Media Prize. So just before we have the conversation that is about to happen, we've got certificates for the Eco Heroes who are our ambassadors for this program and for the show. Can we have the certificates? And I would invite Mr. John Momo and Mr. Peter Limburg to do the presentation right away. Thank you very much. Yes. So we will start with Mr. Desmond Majakodumi. The second one is Priscilla Achapa. And the other one is Bilkis Abiola, represented by Mr. Jani. And finally, Engineer Yaya Ahmed. Thank you very much. And just a little message. In doing this, Channels Television, in collaboration with Deutsche Welle, said that it is not enough to just give certificate. There's got to be a little bit more encouragement so that those who are watching us today will know that we're putting a marker down on the floor to say that environment matters. Mr. Peter Limburg will say a few more words in terms of what else these people stand to gain from this today. Mr. Limburg.
Thanks very much. Don't worry, it's not going to be another speech from me. It's just a short message. So again, congratulations, and was very impressed by seeing your work. And we would be very happy if you could come in this June to Bonn, to Germany, to the Global Media Forum, and you're going to be invited by us, and hope that you participate. And my friend John and I will present the idea Eco at Africa, and I think you're going to join us, and you'll be the best role models for what we're doing. Thank you very much.
Okay, your microphones, you can turn it on, please, so that you can partake of this conversation. And I want to start this conversation. I want to start the conversation by asking a question of the person nearest to me, Manuela Kasper-Claridge. You as an outsider, or should we say a foreigner who is here in Nigeria, one might sometimes get the impression that every German is very much involving watching and caring about the earth. A lot of people in Europe, and I know I've lived in the UK, I know that there is care for the earth. I know that children are taught to switch off the electricity when they're leaving a room. But the Germans have a way of just making sure that recycling is pretty much a full-time business for them in every environment. What is it that makes it such that a people could actually care so much about recycling? Because you see, every single bag of waste in a German environment is got something that shows that this is meant for recycling of bottles, this is food for homes, that's coming food waste, and this is paper waste, and so on and so forth.
You know, this is quite a complex system which we have with recycling our waste, and we recycle 65% of our waste in Germany, and that makes us leaders in the field. And it is not easy to understand for outsiders, because you see the Germans putting something in the yellow bin, something in the brown bin, something in the blue bin, paper, or something in the other bin. But it's very effective, and we know it is good for the environment, and the reward is that Germany is nowadays quite a green country, and people know that, and they don't mind doing this, you know.
But is it that the government make a special effort, or the people just have a knack for wanting to look after the environment? Because it takes a lot of work, some people will say, to distinguish and pack bottles separately and have another bag that is food waste, and then another bag for newspapers, and another bag for this and that. And the way they do it religiously. How and what inspires this?
Well, it's not dictated by the government. You know, the government advises us, but we Germans think it's sensible to do this because we care for our environment. Even my children, they do this kind of recycling, you know. And what is probably also interesting, Germany now produces 32% of its energy through renewables, and half of this green energy is done by citizens, energy cooperatives. Nowadays when you drive through Germany, you see all kinds of wind turbines, you see solar panels on the roofs. I think there are 1.4 million solar panels nowadays in Germany. So you see, this is nothing what the states tells us that we have to do this. We want to do this. And what's interesting, it's not just environmentally sensible, it's also economically sensible. There's this tiny village near Berlin, and they have 49 wind turbines, 130 inhabitants, and they produce 9 million kilowatts of energy per hour or per year. And that generates income for them and makes them totally independent, you know. So we are convinced that what we are doing is good for the environment.
Okay, thank you very much, Manuela. Let me go all the way to the other end and ask Engineer Yahya Ahmed. You are into recycling as well. And some people will definitely say that recycling is a way of ensuring waste becomes wealth. What inspired you to start the organization we refer to as DARE?
Well, it's really as its acronym, but we also see it as a challenge. So we say we dare people. We have a lot of waste around us. I mean, after staying for quite some time in Europe, you see flowers everywhere. Manuela has said in Germany, you see flowers everywhere, very nice. When I came back home, you look around, the decoration we have are plastic waste. Everywhere. Huh? Look at everywhere, you see them, wind blowing them, and everywhere. Something must be done about it. But unfortunately, the culture or the mentality we are so much occupied with a lot of other things. And I really found out that we have a lot of youths up in the north. I'm from Kaduna. We have a lot of them hanging around begging, and these are very able-bodied people. They never, it's not their fault, they never had the opportunity of going to school or doing anything. They are just hanging around. And of course, these extremists use them as suicide bombers. And say, we can also use them for something useful. So we gathered them and said, look, we are going to do something